Front as deadly Israeli strikes mar Gaza's Eid celebration. We'll cross over and bring you some international news. So tonight we have these and many other interesting stories making the 1 hour bulletin. Don't forget, we'll be updating you with business. We'll be bringing you some entertainment stories, and then we'll refresh you with some international news as well. Stay with us as we bring you all these stories and many more. Tonight we start with some Eid stories, and here President John Dramani Mahama has warned that all unauthorized structures obstructing waterways will be demolished without exception. While speaking at the 2025 National Eid Fitr celebration at the Black Star Square, President Mahama emphasized the urgent need to tackle land encroachment, which continues to fuel persistent flooding and environmental degradation across Ghana. While the president expressed concerns over the widespread disregard for urban planning regulations, blaming it for worsening the annual flooding crisis in many parts of the country.
I must address a deeply troubling issue: the illegal construction of buildings in waterways, causing flooding and extensive destruction of property. As we know, the rains are about to start, and already we can see flooding because people have built and blocked the rivers, and so the rivers have nowhere to go but to back up. This reckless disregard for planning regulations and environmental safety is a major contributor to the devastating floods that continue to plague our communities. I'm aware of instances where private businesses, colluding with some chiefs, are turning water retention areas, Ramsaya sites, into built-up zones. Let me be clear, this must stop. Those structures will be pulled down. We will not allow a few selfish individuals to endanger the lives and livelihoods of countless others. The law will be enforced, and those who flout it will face the consequences.
Well, let's still stay with Eid as Muslims across Ghana celebrate the Eid al-Fitr. President John Dramani Mahama has once again appealed to the people of Boko in the Upper East region to embrace peace and unity for the progress of their community and the nation as a whole. While addressing the congregation after Eid Fitr prayers marking the end of Ramadan, President Mahama urged the feuding parties in Boko to give peace a chance. Well, he observed that the sacred occasion is a time for reflection, reconciliation, and renewal of faith, making it the perfect moment to foster harmony, and called on all factions to set aside differences, prioritize dialogue, and work together on lasting peace after decades of violence and chieftaincy disputes.
And on this day, I want to take the opportunity once again to call on our brothers and sisters in Boko to give peace a chance. On this holy occasion, where we celebrate the feast of Eid al-Fitr after the holy month of Ramadan, my brothers and sisters in Boko, let us give peace a chance. Once again, I extend my warmest wishes to all Muslims in Ghana and all over the world. Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Well, Eid Mubarak to all Muslims, but allow me to stay on some more with the Islamic community as the Society of Muslim Preachers has made a strong appeal to Muslim youth to refrain from violence and other indulgence as the month-long fast comes to an end. Well, leadership of the society gave the caution when Team Ramadan, a group of philanthropic young Muslims, fed over 500 Muslims after evening prayers. Well, this report from our Ashanti regional correspondent Ivan Hitkuth Fumado has more.
Providing meals for Muslims breaking their fast, otherwise known as iftar, is a significant virtue in the Islamic faith. These acts, very usual in rich Arab countries, are believed to double the blessings of givers while propagating the virtues of generosity, kindness, and empathy for the poor. Team Ramadan, a group of philanthropic young Muslims, pooled resources to emulate same in Boshen Zango community. In the spirit of zakat and sadaqah, hundreds of Zango youth were offered packs of food, drinks, dates and fruits after the dusk prayers.
Team Ramadan is a group formed about 8 years ago, and then we started here at Boshen Central Mosque in the Chief Imam's house. And our motivation is to provide nutritious food for people who are fasted to break their fast with. As a youth, we realize, people don't get nutritious food to break their fast with. So we decided to help people to get nutritious food to break their fast with. And then Alhamdulillah, 2025, we've been able to do it here in Kumasi, Boshen Central Mosque.
The Imam of Boshen Zango Central Mosque, who doubles as the head of the Society of Muslim Preachers, bemoaned of immoral acts that have come to be associated with Eid celebrations.
Afia kwasa betwe Ramadan seminar yekoye abotre seminar yekoye nyamisuro seminar workshop yekoye tahajjud workshop enti se wie Ramadan ese muslimini o karata ne o sobai esesa na ubie new file edema.
Sheikh Nuhu Abubakar Sadiq wants Muslim youth to celebrate in modesty to preserve the holiness of the fast.
I wish all Muslims across the country and beyond Eid Mubarak, and indeed we're looking forward to the greater collaborations between GHOne TV and the entire Islamic community. We do other stories at this moment, and here in February this year, President John Dramani Mahama directed the anti-Galamsey task force to seize rather than destroy excavators used in illegal small-scale mining. Well, this directive marked a significant shift from the previous administration's controversial approach of banning seized excavators. Well, a move that had sparked widespread criticisms. Well, the decision came amid alarming reports that some 43 out of Ghana's 280 forest reserves have suffered severe degradation due to the illegal mining. Well, since the new directive, authorities have seized nearly 200 excavators across regions heavily affected by Galamsey. However, in a surprising development, an Enchi District Court in the Western region has ruled that 2 excavators seized by the Forestry Commission be returned to their owners. Well, this ruling raises critical questions. Well, is everyone truly aligned in the fight against Galamsey? And is the government operating in silos in tracking this national crisis? Well, and that's the court's decision set back efforts to protect Ghana's forest reserves and natural resources to explore these concerns. Well, tonight, I want to find out that we're joined by Engineer Ken Ashigbe, convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Well, thank you, Engineer Ashigbe.
Thank you very much. Good evening, sir.
Well, Engineer Ashigbe, thank you very much for your time. So I'm tempted to find out from you, given this latest development, would you say that Ghana is on the right track in the fight against Galamsey?
Well, this is a slap in the face. It is the reason why some of us had argued that His Excellency the President should not take away the that option of the Forestry Commission guards and then the military when they go on operations and they find excavators in the forest reserve and they are not able to track them out. They should be able to immobilize them completely, either burn them, put salt in the engines and all of that. But this judge, who has, this ruling, this order that he has given is really a slap in the face. And we are hoping that immediately the Attorney General would appeal this particular decision. And then also it is the reason why we are asking His Excellency the President to declare a state of emergency. Because if we declare a state of emergency in this forest reserve, on this water body, and then as the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has asked for, we ensure that we get fast track court. Where like the way the UK did when they had challenge the route, they could arrange you before court and then in 24 hours try you and sentence you. That is the state in which we are currently in. Otherwise, then what happens is that this Forestry Commission guard who currently is at Komfonochi fighting for his life. His colleagues who said this is, a fight in futility. Because if we would go into these forests, these people are armed, and then we would go and seize these excavators. The Forestry Commission will spend a lot of money, tracking these things out and sending them to the district assembly. And then the judges will now go and order that it be returned to these people. What were the excavators being used for in the forest reserves? For this judge to say that they should return them for them. Were they using them to plant trees, or were they using them to catch cockroaches?
So, Engineer Ashigbe, you've mentioned a few things you think should be done, but let me come back to the question for re-emphasizing. So what would you suggest as the best approach? Now they are supposed to seize. When they seize, the court is saying, give it back to them. What would you say should be the best approach in ensuring that we tackle Galamsey head on?
I think the first thing would be for her ladyship, the Chief Justice, to look into this case of the NG District Court and find out what went into this particular judge. Then the other bit about this is the fact that the issue about season is in the right direction if everything else will go well. But then we need to realize the fact that there are times when you get into these forest reserves, when these criminals know you are coming, what they do is that they would immobilize the excavators, and then you cannot drive them onto a low bed, or the excavators might be stuck in some heavy mud that you cannot move them out unless you go get a crane to be able to move them. And the Forestry Commission are normally not equipped with those tools. So, His Excellency the President should allow for an option that if you are unable to move the excavators from the forest, then you should immobilize them, either burning them, putting salt in them, and then getting scavengers to go and cut them up as scrap. But then we need to deal with the roots of the case. How is it that in Ghana in 2024, the third most expensive items we imported into this country in terms of value was excavators? And we know that these excavators that are coming into this country, they are not coming into this country to come and use them for roads. With all the roads that we have in this country, even if you wanted to work on them, these excavators are too many. We don't need that many excavators in road construction. So all of these excavators have become weapons of mass destruction. So what we should do is that there's a law that empowers the government to be able to track these excavators. We should prescribe the importation of excavators. There should be the same way we deal with when you are importing morphine or some of these, items that they use in drug manufacturing. You need to go through some very severe licensing, and then government should also implement the tracking so that every excavator in this country should be tracked. Then we work together with, the various regulatory bodies and all of that, and make sure that we flush all these excavators that are in the system. Then make sure, as the Minister for Interior said, let's link every excavator using their chassis number to the people who imported them. Who did they sell them to? Who did they rent them up to? So that we make sure that the kingpins who are benefiting from the degradation of our forests and the killing of us, we would begin to punish them. And that's why it is important that His Excellency the President should not be asking his parliamentarians and his Minister for Environment to be amending this obnoxious LI 2462. We should be revoking them. So currently we've started a petition online, and we're urging everybody who's watching GHTV to also go online and sign this petition that asks His Excellency the President to actually get Parliament to revoke this amendment and revoke LI 2462 so that we can save over 60% of our
Is that a story? He should check. Okay, so thank you, Engineer Kanashigbe. But just before you go, so I just wanted to find out from you. We've seen a lot of initiatives, including the Blue Water Guard. In recent time, I must say the government must be very new in office. But yes, they've initiated some policies concerning the concerning Galamsey, the fight against Galamsey. I'm tempted to ask you, do you see this as a genuine way a genuine approach to tackle Galamsey head on? Or you think, look, the approach is problematic, we might have to revise it?
Well, so we need to state emphatically that the current Minister for Lands and Natural Resources seems to have his heart in the right place, wanting to fight this. The President himself has, said a few positive things, including asking his ministers, his appointees who want to be mining to resign. But unfortunately, the situation on the ground is getting worse. I saw recently a picture from the Bonsa water treatment plant. The level of turbidity of that water in that treatment plant is nothing to write home about. We see you go into some of these communities right by the side of the road, Galamsey is happening. The forest, the minister got military people to get into the forest and reclaim about 7 out of the 9 that were lost. But then when we got them back from red to yellow, the Forestry Commission went there, they were ambushed. So there are some things that the government needs to do that it's not doing, that is making the fight difficult. One of them is the state of emergency. The need to impose a state of emergency in our forest reserves on the water bodies to deal with these recalcitrant people who are still in there. The revocation of the LI instead of the amendment of it. The Minister for Interior had talked about deporting foreigners who are engaged in it. We need to call out the Chinese. Their involvement in the Galamsey is just overbearing, and we have people from also our neighboring countries. Now they've gone, these Galamseyers have gone to import mercenaries and ex-combatants who are heavy armed.
Engineer Kanashigbe, I really wanted you to confirm that, because we have that information and you never know if it's true, that somewhere within the Bono area that has borders with Cote d'Ivoire and the like, these are mercenaries. They are not ordinary armed people. They understand how to use the rifle.
Completely. Let me give you 2 examples. In the presence of these armed people who mount security, they mount posts, before you get to the mines, they were able to beat up 2 journalists in the presence of the police because they had outgunned, they had outnumbered the police. You see them heavily armed with assault weapons. This time it's not just the pump action. And you go into some of these communities, all you hear is French and other foreign languages. So the issue about these mercenaries that have come into part of our territories of this country, it was the reason why the minister said in Parliament that 9 of the forest reserves have become no-go areas. And so this national security threat is real and it's imminent. And it's important that His Excellency takes a cue from what happened in Mali. In Mali, what happened for the coup to happen was also these, mercenaries who were around illegal mining sites that build their capacity. It is important that national security takes steps to ensure that the state of emergency is declared, and these armed people meet them up with the full force of our armed forces. Armed forces are more than capable to deal with them, but we need to create the right environment so that we can meet them with superior firepower, both in the air, on the land, and also on the water bodies, Navy, Army, and the Air Force, together with the local communities and all of that. And it's also going to be important that the police forces in all of these communities, the current IGP should completely transfer all of them. All of them that are in these areas where Galamsey is happening, it is either that they are complicit or they are incompetent. In both ways, they are not good representatives of the IGP in this place. So we need to realize that as a country, we are at war. Territories of this land have been taken over by people who are not all, most of them are foreigners. And we need to deal with them with the force of the law that is required.
Engineer Kanashigbe, thank you very much. We love to spend more time on this particular subject, but I'm sure it's a subject that we would bring back the other day. Just a chip in. Friends like Joyce and Co called from the Bono region, alerting me that Kweku, it is a crisis back at home. We're not even able to go back home, and we're not able to talk about it. I'm glad that we've been able to touch on it briefly, but it's a subject that we'd want to stay on in the coming days. But we'll look at other stories tonight here. Public health analyst Samuel Perennial Arthur has joined the debate on Ghana's healthcare system following reports that Vice President Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman is seeking medical treatment abroad. Well, he questions whether the country's health facilities are adequately equipped for both routine and complex cases, raising concerns about accessibility and quality for ordinary Ghanaians.
In principle, seeking health care in another jurisdiction out of your country of residence is not an issue that we should actually be crying out loud and making all kind of fuss about, But if it becomes like the norm, what people begin to ask is our health system responsive enough to deal with all the ailments or common ailments that people are believed with? If that is the case, then we need to actually do a clear assessment of it. So you see, when we begin to see not just anybody but senior politicians or public officers at that level go or referred for medical care to other countries, then the question the ordinary people begin to ask is, in the event when you have a similar infirmity like that of this public officer, will you be able to afford it? Will you even have the wherewithal to be able to go through it, to be flown outside, to get the care outside? And that is the moral question that we should be asking ourselves.
Well, in a profession where exposure to trauma and suffering is common, the mental well-being of reporters is often neglected. Well, it is for this reason the mental health authority is urging journalists to prioritize their own mental health, especially when covering distressing stories. Well, this call was made at a workshop organized by Empowering Better Life Foundation, that's EBLF, which brought together experts to discuss the critical role of journalists, the role they play in reshaping narratives around mental health. There's more in the following report.
Mental health issues affect 1 in 4 people globally, with depression ranking as the leading cause of the disability. Despite increasing awareness, stigma remains a major challenge, often fueled by insensitive media portrayals. Addressing the media at the event, the founder of the Empowering Better Life Foundation, Mrs. Alma Adade Prempe, urged journalists to cover mental health stories responsibly with empathy and respect for affected individuals.
The moment you see or you hear about mental, the word even mental alone just puts people off. I don't want to talk about it. But I think it's about time we come out and speak about these things, because it's not something for us to, how should I even say it, to see it as a negative thing. We should see this as a positive thing. And it's not just that, it's more about raising an awareness. Because I believe that there's so many people in here, not just in Ghana, who are struggling with their mental well-being.
Meanwhile, the head of communication at the Mental Health Authority, Dr. Josephine Darko, emphasized the need for journalists to safeguard their own mental well-being, particularly those who regularly cover traumatic and distressing stories.
If the media tells the story such that people realize that mental illness is not a curse, then the society can know that, yes, someone can have a mental illness, but this person with the right help can be able to achieve all that they hope to achieve. I would advise that in as much as you are doing your best to do your job, you should also know that everyone has a limit. There are times that you need to step back, relax, distress, be able to take care of yourself.
Beyond media reporting, another pressing issue is the discrimination faced by children with special needs in schools. Learning disabilities, intellectual challenges, developmental disorders, and physical disabilities often result in exclusion from mainstream education. Madam Hannah Awaji, the Executive Director of the Special Mothers Project, is advocating for sensitive media coverage and an inclusive education system that accommodates children with diverse learning needs.
We need to be conscious as a society that there are parents who need to be involved. We cannot downplay the voice of the parents in inclusive policies. So it's very important that we prioritize the needs of parents and hear their voices in formulating inclusive policies.
The Empowering Better Life Foundation, EBLF, remains committed to advocating for responsible media coverage and inclusive education, working tirelessly to combat stigma and provide better support for individuals facing mental health challenges.
All right, it's time for us to move to the Eastern region for some health issues. And here the presence of cattle near the Adeso Health Center in the Upper East Achem district of the Eastern region is posing significant health risks, particularly to patients with weakened immune system. Health personnel and patients seeking medical care have expressed their concerns about the situation, calling for urgent intervention to address the situation.
According to senior physician Peter Kujay, cattle are being kept dangerously close to the health facility, creating a persistent foul odor and unsanitary conditions. He revealed that no concrete action has been taken to resolve the matter, which began in 2022 despite multiple reports to the Adeso Police and the District Environmental Health Authority.
Also, you say I read to say TB. I know when I'm doing and to say, be a silent here. Let us say, if I'm about the year, and yet, no, I'm just saying, as I said, room see, and I been her facility see. So I say, oh, more money, 99 and so many as I can say, baby, a one, a commons and say, any, but almost say, yet my campaign now is obviously any business and I also be so saying.
Residents have also voiced their concerns, describing the situation as both unbearable and a potential health hazard.
How now the bank say sent to look him when you go Hana one in Susia into years and Kadimo Binmuna from Wado. Nyanya, said that day I want to mean. None of you to so you have for and ye many chief crying alcohol and then two for or quite was a natural on you. The police station, many chief Punequay. Your queen was one nam yantishi.
With frustrations mounting, stakeholders are calling for swift intervention to safeguard public health and ensure uninterrupted healthcare delivery.
If you're just joining us, you're still live on News Tonight. My name is Kweku. We still have some more local stories for you. And yet, the Central Regional Minister has advised the Muslim communities in the Central Region to always preach politics in their various mosques and churches to bring up God-fearing politicians in the future. Yabwe Jan, our correspondent in the Central Region, has more.
Addressing the Muslim community in the Infantsiman municipality, Central Regional Minister Eko Penyin Ochiri emphasized the need for religious leaders to actively engage in political discourse. He believes that by integrating political discussions into religious teachings, the country can raise ethical and God-fearing leaders for the future. Member of Parliament for Infantsiman, Prince Ahin, assured the Muslim community that all promises made to them will be fulfilled. Meanwhile, the Infantsiman Zango chief, Nana Abraham Bedu III, announced measures to eliminate street children from Mankasim and the Infantsiman municipality. He also banned the Salafest celebrations and restricted the reckless use of motorbikes in the municipality.
gidi omuko fa police phone no ka che youth phone do ba ye bia mamo mbopi ni ba gidi kura ana mo hunde adini so mu ya asambisi no almost so bu ni e man kasinfu islam for the yina ye won so ye wona ni pa ba ko mi ko am ye chief ni ti mi ye bibia tise edom akabichi.
We'll do other stories at this moment, and here the Deputy Attorney General Justice Romsai has detailed that NIB and the Ghana Police Service have arrested some 14 persons in the ECG stolen container saga, and that they are part of a syndicate which the police are still tracking. Well, there are 11 Chinese nationals and 3 Ghanaians involved. Their passports have been taken, and they have been asked to produce sureties to adhere to their police bail. Investigations are still ongoing to crack down and retrieve the stolen containers and other persons involved. The Attorney General also appealed to the public to assist with any relevant information.
The NIB and the Ghana Police Service have arrested a number of suspects. The arrest took place in Dongfang manufacturing company yard, and also Ponlok. They are all around Shai Hills. 14 suspects have been arrested. 11 have identified themselves as Chinese nationals. The police did arrest last night, and as you know, we have always maintained, and the President John Dramani Mahama has maintained that his fight to recover the loot will not be a channel or a tool to abuse the right of persons who are found who are found or who are suspected. So in line with that, we have the police officers have admitted the suspect to bail, police bail, because they were arrested last night, and we have a few hours to expire for the 48-hour rule to expire. And so for the foreign nationals and the 3 Ghanaians, the police have taken their passports, that is to prevent them from leaving the country, and have also asked for them to produce sureties, persons that can stand sureties for them. In other words, persons that can help the police to locate them should they not be found. So that is the condition for their police bail. We want to make it also clear that investigations are still ongoing, and these persons who have been arrested have given statements, giving leads to further investigation to be conducted. We believe that this is a syndicate, and there are more people in the syndicate that the police are working to arrest. We want to encourage the general public to volunteer information leading to the arrest or covering of this crime against the Republic. Millions of cedis are lost because of this. And the police, the law enforcement agencies, as well as the Office of the Attorney General, are really ready to go to the bottom of this and bring the culprits and the perpetrators to book. I will encourage the public, as the leader of the team has said, to volunteer information which will lead to conclusion of this matter. It is a country that is losing so much, and we expect that we are encouraging the public to help. Any information that anyone has, that information should be made available to the leaders of the investigation.
All right, so if you have any information to help the NIB, kindly do so and help unearth the issues of this particular incident. Well, very shortly, we're bringing you some updates on how GHOne television has been able to get results on this particular development. We are bringing you the details very shortly on this particular development, on how television gets results. We put out a story and we've seen that we are getting some results on it. We're sharing the details with you shortly on this particular development. Well, residents of Oklu Nkwanta in the Senya West constituency have expressed their heartfelt appreciation to GHOne TV for consistently highlighting the deplorable state of the major bridge in the area, which had been in despair for the past 8 years. Well, They have also extended their gratitude to the Member of Parliament, that's Gisela Tete, for prioritizing the project less than 3 months after being voted as MP. There's more in the following reports.
Last year, when we came here, we even told them that in case this bridge has not been repaired, I'm not supporting the Muslim community to come out to vote for anybody, any political party, whether the NDC or the MPP. I was able to get the DC. The DC promised that he was going to come. He even come here to see the scene, whether what was happening here.
Although this issue was highlighted several months before the 2024 general elections, the community still cast their votes, demonstrating their resilience.
This bridge has been abandoned for the past 8 years. The people of Okulu Nkwanta in the Ewutu Senya West constituency are happy because their Member of Parliament, Honorable Gisela Tete, has started the construction of the abandoned bridge.
For the residents of Okulu Nkwanta in the Senya West constituency, economic activities are expected to bounce back strongly as the bridge connecting the community to GAZA South and West is being constructed. Children from adjoining communities who previously risked their lives crossing the broken bridge to attend school will soon breathe a sigh of relief. Here are some community leaders expressing their gratitude to both GHOne TV and the Member of Parliament, while also impressing upon her the need for further development.
We thank you a lot for, and then GHOne responsibly for this good work where the woman has started. She has built another kindergarten block, 3 classroom block at the Jamaica Zachary Kope school park, and that one to us highlight the children for the expansion of the school. So we thank her very much.
We are grateful to Honorable. Now the pressing one is that of the road that links JB Akwa Okulu Nkwanta to Asbaham.
We are indeed grateful to the MP of the area. We've had so many problems. And my particular problem is the activities of laggards here.
The Member of Parliament, who was in the area to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr with the Muslim community, took the opportunity to inspect the progress of work and reaffirmed her unwavering commitment to the development of infrastructure across the constituency.
It was very difficult to find support to do this. I would go to feeder roads. Feeder roads would tell me this. They come and measure. After measurement, nothing happens. At least we have provided a KG nursery block over there. It is provided by a sponsor. And then also we'll look at the park. It's something that I'm already doing. Just this year, I use the drip machines. We've graded Nyakukwa electoral area, Ayinsaku electoral area also. We have worked on the roads there just to make sure that, because the rains are coming. So I had to do this quickly before the rains.
The Muslim community seized the occasion to pray for the MP, imploring Allah for guidance as she works to fulfill her promises to the constituents.
All right, it's time for us to talk about some security issues. And here, do you know that revealing the identity of a child in media reports could land you in court? Well, Children's Act, Domestic Violence Act, and Juvenile Justice Act strictly prohibits publishing any information that could identify a child. Well, National Coordinator of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, I'm talking about DOVSU, ACP Owusia Chreme, has issued a strong warning to journalists. It says they must brace themselves for legal action if they continue to disregard these protections.
The media plays a crucial role in storytelling, but when it comes to children, the law demands caution. Many journalists are either unaware of or deliberately ignore legal provisions that protect children's identities in news reports. National DOVSU Coordinator ACP Owusia Chreme warns that exposing a child's name, photograph, or personal details without consent violates a child's rights. Under Section 39 of the Children's Act, any publication that reveals a child's identity, even indirectly, is illegal. This includes using their full name, publishing identifiable photos, or providing location details that could lead to their identification.
In telling a story about a child or writing a story about a child, you must make sure that the identity of the child is not given out. And whatever description you give in terms of the story, anybody reading it shouldn't be able to trace the child.
In criminal cases involving children, Even court proceedings must uphold strict confidentiality. In some countries, only letters like X or Y are used in place of a child's name to prevent public exposure, a practice experts hope Ghana will adopt.
This draft was taken through different processes, and finally, in 1989, there was adoption of the CRC. So the onus is on us to make sure that that protection is done. That's why it's very important that we are called here.
With increased scrutiny on media ethics, journalists are now being urged to prioritize the best interests of the child in every report. As Ghana strengthens child protection laws, the media industry must take responsibility, ensuring that its reports inform the public without violating children's rights. A media training organized by the Trailblazer in association with Statement Limited aims to build knowledge and understanding of the laws to right the wrongs in the media space.
All right, so amid rising tension over chieftaincy disputes in the Bono region, the regional minister Joseph Akwabua has vowed to take decisive action to ensure lasting peace and stability. While speaking at the Bono Regional Security Council RECSEC meeting at Sunyai, he reaffirmed his commitment to upholding the rule of law while maintaining neutrality in traditional leadership conflicts.
Chieftaincy disputes have raised security and stability concerns in the Bono region. The situation has led to the imposition of curfew on some communities and traditional areas in impacting socio-economic growth. The Bono Regional Minister Joseph Akwabua has pledged to restore peace while ensuring that conflicts over traditional leadership do not escalate into lawlessness. The minister made it clear that while his administration will not interfere in chieftaincy matters, it will take all necessary steps to maintain order.
Enti ahensem bia wa bono maning ha bia no yemfamfa judicial committee ne awase court na mo na me shobo sameya research chairman hi na ahensem beba na obi so de tumi be hye nsem
He also revealed that efforts are underway to lift curfews in some areas as authorities work to resolve disputes.
Curfew no nyina no ya behwe se ye be yini nyina afiri ho na ye firi ho nso na obi so ya be ma na ne tumi no so sengana tumi a men so ma kire ne sem ye regional minister na bono ha no abantumi kase no
Joseph Akwabua, however, issued a strong warning to individuals found inciting violence or disturbing the peace will face the full force of the law.
Memfa ho se mama no ana mpapa no memfa ho se ukita tumi bi e wo Ghana ha se mechewa obefa mra kwan so e wo sonko prison a mehwe se obeko prison.
The minister's firm stance was welcomed by many, especially peace-loving traditional leaders, with hope for an end to long-standing conflict and a renewed sense of unity in the Bono region.
Right on a disturbing note, a heartbreaking incident has occurred in Zebela, where a 4-day-old baby was abandoned in a pig pen at the Zebela Market Square, while the infant girl was discovered by Gifty Ayene after 2 children alerted her. Well, she quickly rescued the infant and reported the case to the police.
The shocking turn of events was discovered on the evening of Friday, March 28. According to Gifty Ayene, 2 children who came to buy some goods from her shop alerted her about the baby. Shocked by the news, Gifty dashed to the place to confirm the claim and called in people nearby. With the help of her brother, Inusa Awudu, and other community members, the baby was safely taken to the police station. The Zebela District Director of Social Welfare expressed dismay about the conduct of the baby's mother and assured that immediate steps would be taken to ensure the baby's well-being, while investigations are underway to locate the mother or those responsible.
As it stands, we will leave the child here for them to do the necessary help assessment. But we also done to put a folder on the chart so that at least we can track the condition and whatever issues that arise from the hospital.
He urged struggling mothers to seek help from social welfare services or orphanage homes instead of abandoning their children.
At the same time, to be as much as possible, so we need the media to also see how best they can help us to trace the parent or the family of the baby.
The baby is currently receiving medical attention at the Zebula Government Hospital as investigations continue.
All right, so it's time for us to bring you the latest happenings from our world of business. All right, so traditionally, the days leading up to the Eid are marked by a surge in shopping as families stock up on food items, clothing, and gifts. But this year, traders at the bustling Nima market report a decline in sales, attributing it to economic challenges and reduced purchasing power.
Muna kuma gode mishi inda ya bar muka yi lafiya da mu kare kuma lafiya. Mun fara bismillah da mu kare lafiya. Mun gode mishi. Muna roƙon shi kuma ya kai gidan lafiya. Mun gode mishi. Sallah dai mun ci shi da dai shekara ya kai mu. Mun ci sallah. Mun girki gida. Mu dafa abinci mu yanka kazan mu ci mu yi roƙon Allah mu zo mu dafa abinci mu ci. Mun dafa shinkafa mu yi sakwara. Wanzu ya zama dole ba jama'a ba mutane ba komai ba mu sani ba ko rashin kuɗi ne ko menene mun dai san dai rashin kuɗin zai kawo haka ne. Kaya dai gaskiya ya je kasan bai da tsada kamar mutum amma shekarar da kaya ya yi sauki amma ba su. Kaya na da sauki amma bai tafiya. Nan ka zo an cika ne ana sayan wangai nan ana sayan kaya amma shekarar gaje to ba mu san ba ko gobe kuma sallan kuma ya kai kenan.
All right, so still in business, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama, has confirmed that the sale of shares in Société Générale Ghana is progressing with multiple prospective buyers expressing interest. Well, he emphasized that the BOG will evaluate the transaction to ensure compliance with policy guidelines on mergers and acquisitions before granting final approval. Well, the central bank is awaiting negotiations amongst stakeholders or shareholders before proceeding with its assessment.
The sale of shares in Société Générale, yes. It is ongoing. A number of prospective buyers have touched base with us. But as you know, we are central bank, regulators. Ours is to issue a no objection. Ours is to ensure that the prospective buyer meets the fit and proper requirements. And so we await negotiations, on their part. When it is included, we will then look at the aspects that we have to look at. We will have to make sure that they meet the policy guidelines when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, and to make sure that everything is fit and proper. So that is where we are as far as the SG transaction is concerned. We are waiting for the shareholders. We are waiting for the agreements that can be reached, and then we get involved for that sale to go the next step.
It's now time for us to talk about business and academia as the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, I'm talking about the KNUST Business School, is spearheading efforts to commercialize the university's science and technology innovations. So faculty heads have observed that while students in the science, engineering and IT department develop scalable products, many of these innovations remain confined to laboratories and shelves. Well, the business school believes that fostering collaboration between its faculty and STEM departments would be a game changer. Ultimate News' Ivan Hitkut-Fumado has more.
Although KNUST was primarily established to train students and lead research in STEM disciplines, the university has struggled to produce market-leading products that generate significant revenue. Year after year, students and faculty present groundbreaking innovations in medicine, engineering, and IT, brilliant ideas that rarely progress beyond academic projects. Dr. Peter Jamefee, an alumnus of the Pharmacy Department and Chief Operating Officer of Alpha Duo Pharma, believes that without a business-oriented approach, these innovations will continue to stagnate.
Knowledge of technology and science acquisition could be transferred from one sector to the other and bring a good collaboration between the science and then the business. But I feel that there has to be that collaboration between the science and then the business to be able to bridge the gap. The issue is that we have good ideas, but we don't have people who are ready to nurture those ideas as compared to other companies or other countries where ideas are, we have investors looking for ideas to implement them.
As part of its 20th anniversary celebrations, the KNUST Business School has been hosting symposiums with industry players, faculty, and students under the theme, The Role of Business Schools in a Science and Technology University. Senior lecturer in Marketing and Corporate Strategy, Samuel Yao Akomia, emphasized the need for STEM faculties to focus on demand-driven innovations that can be easily marketed.
To talk about innovation, you can talk about the science solutions. Yes, so solutions, yes, but then it is the acceptance by the market that will determine whether they see it as innovation or not. And most of them that were done there, we can tell that they were academic programs or academic projects. And there we will do market testing before we deal with the target market.
Dr. Marian Benewa Baba Alagi, an education psychologist and industry expert, proposed stronger partnerships between academia and industry to ensure that promising ideas receive the necessary support for commercialization.
Industry and education literally work hand in hand. And so you cannot necessarily handle industry without education, whether formal or informal. That I am very proud and very grateful to the KSB department of KNUST. This is an attempt, or this is a start to initiate the children into, or the students into a pathway of.
All right, so that's about all we have for you in business. Very shortly, we'll bring you updates from our world of sports.
She's coming. She's coming.
Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, MP for Karaga, former finance minister. I advise myself and my brothers and sisters in Islam that the level of discipline we have shown throughout this month of Ramadan should continue to guide our lifestyles. The prayers we offered, the deeper supplication that we made during this month will continue to guide our lifestyles after this month. We need to lead lifestyles that are enviable, and that shows that we are really Muslims and we're living according to the dictates of our religion. We will continue to pray, we continue to eschew bad behavior, we will continue to eschew evil acts, we will continue to lead by examples, and we advise the rest of the world to lead by example so that we can have peaceful world, we can have harmonious society, that we can live together, that we can coexist as human beings.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Abdulaziz Harun of Futa, National Nasara Coordinator for the New Patriotic Party, MPP. My message to my Muslim brothers and sisters is it is difficult for us to go through the Ramadan, another 29 days or 30. We commit ourselves to the will of Allah. We pray, we believe that Allah accepted our dua. So, as we are going to celebrate the Eid, we have to be very decorum and be very careful so that we will not commit sins that Allah will be annoyed with us.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalid Marihuma, and I want to thank the Almighty Allah for seeing us through this year's Ramadan. Happy Eid Mubarak to my friends and family. I love you all. Bye.
MashaAllah, some of us we didn't end with them. So if
let's bring you some sports updates at this moment, and here tragedy struck at the Bukum Boxing Arena on Saturday night during the Bell 7-Star Ghana Professional Boxing League, where Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun Oluwansiragu collapsed in the ring during a crucial bout against 22-year-old Ghanaian opponent Jonathan Imbanugu. Despite swift medical intervention, Gabriel was rushed to the hospital but sadly passed away while receiving treatment.
A tragic incident rocked the boxing community on Saturday night as Nigeria's light heavyweight boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun collapsed in the ring during a professional boxing league match in Accra. He was later pronounced dead at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital. The match, an international 8-round organized by Osibo Boxing Promotion, was in its third round when the unfortunate event occurred. The two boxers were engaged in a fierce jab exchange when Gabriel suddenly stepped back, lost his balance and collapsed heavily in the ring. Referee Richard Amevi, realizing the boxer was unresponsive, immediately halted the mandatory count and called in the ring doctor and emergency medical team. Gabriel Oluwasegun, alias Success, was a 40-year-old orthodox boxer from Lagos, Nigeria. His professional record stood at 23 fights with 13 wins, 8 losses and 2 draws. Having made his debut on July 30, 2019, he had fought 99 rounds, boasting of 92.31% knockout rate. He was ranked 448th in the world and 7th in Nigeria among 43 light heavyweight boxers. His opponent, Jonathan Power for Power, a 22-year-old orthodox fighter from Accra, Ghana, had an impressive record of 14 fights, 12 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw with a 100% knockout rate since his debut on December 24, 2023. He is currently ranked 352nd globally and 12th amongst 42 Ghanaian light heavyweights. The Ghana Boxing Authority has officially confirmed the tragic incident and has filed a report with the Ghana Police Service. At the same time, the Nigerian Boxing Authority has been duly notified of the incident. Gabriel's remains have since been deposited at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital awaiting autopsy.
May the soul of the boxer rest in perfect peace. We now bring you some entertainment news. Well, join us on Rhythms Live on GHOne TV and Ago TV for a special tribute show honoring Osibisa, the legendary band that brought us timeless Ghanaian classics. Although only one original member remains, their legacy continues to inspire generations. Mark your calendar for 3rd April or April 3, 2025 at 3 p.m. in Platinum Studios. Well, this unmissable event will feature insightful discussions on Osibisa's impact with living legends like Jeduble Ambule, Manzaba, Nat Brew, Bessa Simons, and Otrema Asante. Plus, get ready for an electrifying performance by the sensational Inchini Band. All right, so that's about all we have for you tonight. It's been exciting staying with you on the Eid edition of the Bulletin. We're back here tomorrow with some more updates. But in between that, we want you to stay on this channel because this is where we provide you with information, education, and entertainment. It's GHOne TV, and my name is Kweku. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
The last Friday of Ramadan, Alhamdulillah, I want to say a big thank to Almighty Allah, and whatever He have done for us, may Almighty Allah accept our due, whatever we need in our lifestyle. Those who want to travel this year, those who want to good work, marriage, give birth in life. May Almighty Allah accept their dua.
We ask Almighty Allah to accept our ibadah, our acts of worship. May we see many of this month. I'm wishing all Muslims happy Eid Mubarak. Bye.
Alhamdulillah, we are grateful to Almighty Allah for showing us 2025 Eid al-Fitr. My message is quite simple and clear, and it has been my message almost every year. Peace and sanitation. One, during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, this goes to the young men, the motor riders. We've received so many reports, so many incidents concerning the motor riders. So we use this platform to tell them to please, we are not preventing them from riding during Eid al-Fitr, but they should sanitize their way of riding motors. And
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Mubarak Wakaso, your favorite Black Star midfielder. We thank Almighty Allah for giving us that strength to go through this blessed month. As we are about to celebrate Eid, I want to urge all of us to come out peaceful, nicely, to enjoy the Eid. Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.